Nothing screams America more than Walmart. Known for its affordable deals and huge variety. While we have all seen some funny and strange things happen at Walmart, there's a darker side that only the bravest of employees and shoppers know about. From a Reddit thread full of spooky tales, here are the true scariest stories that will make you think twice about your next visit to Walmart. Story 1. Walmart. Customer. Sarah recounted her time working at a 24/7 Walmart supercenter right out of high school. She faced all kinds of abuse from customers, but one incident stood out. "I remember this one night. At 2 a.m. I was alone working at the cashier and the shop was quiet and mostly empty. Suddenly, one man entered. He was not looking up and seemed to shake. My eyes also noticed that his hands were shaking as he loaded it. I attempted to say something to comfort him, but not much of the response was there. Later on, I noticed that he had left some change. So I tried to give him back, but there was no one in the parking lot. The car had also already left, making me feel as though he evaporated into the thin air. The next day, I told my manager about this incident. When we checked the security tapes, there was no record of him ever being at the counter. It was like I had imagined the whole thing, but I know what I saw." Story 2. Mike's ghostly voice. I was working an evening shift stocking shelves in the toy department. Since the store was silent, even the smallest sounds seemed louder. I heard someone say, "Help me," while I was arranging boxes on the shelf. I assumed someone was pulling a practical joke on me because it was so obvious. I turned to look around, but nobody was present. I attempted to wipe it off and went back to work. But as soon as I heard it again, it was louder and said, "Please, help me." The voice from the closest booth sounded like that of a small girl. My heart was screaming. I ran over to see the aisle empty. I checked every possible hiding spot but found nothing. I had the feeling that someone was observing me the entire time I was working. It was the longest night of my life. Story 3. The night manager's terror. Jason, the night manager at Walmart, shared a scary experience during his shift one night. It was around 3 a.m. when everything in the store was usually calm and vacant. Jason heard odd noises coming from the store's back all of a sudden. He decided to investigate on his own out of curiosity and little concern. He discovered a door that was normally secured but was now unlocked and moving slightly as he moved in the direction of the sound. There was an old storage area beyond this door that was no longer in use. Jason pulled up the door, his heart racing, curious to see what was inside. He looked inside and noticed a circle of candles burning on the ground. Right in the middle of the candles, there was a name tag from one of the staff who had quit recently. The room was cooler than normal, and the air felt heavy. Feeling spooked, Jason quickly left the room and locked the door. He told security about what he saw, and they checked the cameras. The security footage showed a shadowy figure going into the room just before Jason found it, but then the figure just disappeared. No one saw it leave the room. No one ever figured out what happened that night. The room has been locked up ever since, and Jason avoids going near that part of the store. He still works nights, but now he makes sure he is never alone when he investigates strange noises. Story 4. Linda's creepy encounter. Linda has worked at Walmart for a long time, and when she thinks back to a scary experience that happened when she was working at the jewelry counter, she still gets goosebumps. A man approached her counter to purchase jewelry on one of those regular busy days at the store. He was staring at her with such intensity that Linda felt uncomfortable helping him. Linda was uneasy, but she calmed down and finished the deal. But just as the man turned to walk away, he leaned very near and said in a spooky voice, "You have wonderful eyes. I'll see them once more shortly." Linda felt an attack of terror as he stated that. Not only were his remarks unsettling, but they also carried a hint of threat that frightened Linda. In the following weeks, Linda's anxiety only grew as she noticed the same man walking outside the store almost every evening as she was closing up. He would just stand there, staring at her from a distance. Feeling increasingly unsafe, Linda finally reported the man to store security. From then on, security guards would escort her to her car every night for her safety. Thankfully, after a few weeks of this, the man stopped appearing, but the fear he instilled in Linda lingered. Even now, she finds herself looking over her shoulder every time she leaves work. After hearing Linda's creepy story, another Walmart employee shares his own strange experience that happened right in the electronics aisle. Listen to that. Story 5. Ghost in the electronics aisle. One late night, I was fixing the DVDs in the electronics section when I thought I noticed someone standing at the end of the corridor. Thinking someone might require assistance, I yelled, "Can I help you?" But they just stood there with no one answering. I went to investigate since I thought it might be strange, but no one was there. I turned to return to my work, thinking maybe I was simply seeing things because I was fatigued. But the individual was there again, this time on the opposite side of the corridor. I froze in midair, unsure of what was going on. Then, without warning, he vanished once more. After that night, I didn't like standing in that hallway by myself. I'm not sure if it was just my imagination or the shadows. Got any spooky stories like these from Walmart? Tell us in the comments. Now back to the stories. Story 6. The Mysterious Child. One quiet afternoon, while Lisa was organizing items on sale, she heard a child laughing. Curious, she followed the sound and found a small toy phone on the floor. As soon as she picked it up, it started ringing. Lisa answered the phone, and a child's voice said, "Come find me," before hanging up quickly. This made Lisa feel uneasy, but she looked around to see if there was a child nearby. She found no one. Later, Lisa told her coworkers about it, and they shared that they too had heard the child's voice from that toy phone before, always in that same part of the store. Story 7. The Face in the Mirror. Samantha, a worker at Walmart, was staying late one evening to sort out new beauty products in the cosmetics section. As she placed items in a display backed by a mirror, she saw something strange, a face looking at her between the gaps of the products. Thinking maybe her eyes were playing tricks on her, Samantha rearranged the products to get a better look, but the face was still there, watching her. Her heart raced as she quickly turned around to see who it was, but nobody was in the aisle. Turning back to the mirror, the face had vanished. This scared Samantha so much that she stayed away from that aisle for a long time afterward, always feeling like someone was watching her whenever she was nearby. Story 8. The Phantom of Aisle 13. An old employee at Walmart, Mark, once shared a creepy story about aisle 13. It was a stormy night, and Mark was cleaning that aisle, known for weird happenings. While he was sweeping, the lights started flickering, and he heard a loud noise as something fell. He found a broken jar of pickles on the floor, but nobody was there. When he bent down to pick it up, he heard a scratchy voice say his name right behind him. He spun around fast, but the aisle was empty. For the rest of his night, Mark felt like someone or something was watching him from the shadows. A man tells a scary story from his childhood when he was just 12 years old. Story 9. A Scary Car Chase. One day, he was at their best friend's house. His friend's parents were not home, but the friend's older sister was there. She was 16 and had permission to drive her mom's red car. They decided to go to Walmart to buy some pool noodles. While driving back from Walmart, they noticed a white van following them. It had also been at Walmart. He was already a bit scared of white vans and started feeling nervous, even though the older sister told them not to worry. Every time she turned onto a different road, the van followed. This made everyone in the car worried. The sister then started driving fast, taking lots of random turns to try to lose the van. Finally, they couldn't see it anymore. When they got close to home, she drove quickly into the garage and shut it. They were all relieved to be home safe and away from the van. This scary experience made them never want to go to Walmart again. Story 10. Strange envelope at Walmart. Someone shared about a weird incident they experienced at Walmart approximately a year ago. They were merely picking up a few items at around 10 p.m., which was almost closing time. They were alone in one of the corridors when a short, dark-haired woman came up to them. It was strange for the time of year that she was dressed in a winter hat and sweater. The woman approached them directly, gave them a blank envelope, and said it was for them. The exchange felt especially weird because of her flat, nearly lifeless tone. The person was curious and opened the envelope to discover a Polaroid photo inside. The image showed a man staring straight into the camera while dressed entirely in black and wearing a ski mask. It was a strange and puzzling picture. The woman turned and started to walk away before they could respond or ask any questions. She was moving towards the exit when they attempted to locate her to find some answers. Feeling uneasy, they threw the envelope and photo away and hurried to finish their shopping. As they headed to their car, they noticed the woman again, this time walking quickly towards them. Not wanting to have another encounter, they jumped into their car and drove off just as she was approaching. Nothing else strange happened after that, but the experience left them shaken. They shared this story as a reminder of the unexpected and sometimes unsettling things that can happen, even during a simple trip to Walmart.